You're going to see a lot of this going forward. When and look, over the break, right? Was it over the break? There was a New York Times piece on like how conservatives are, some people voted conservative for Trump because they're so mad at liberals being too pushy.
I don't know. There's always an article like that but I have to say, it is only liberals and the liberal press, certain slice of it. Like, there is no conservative marketplace for, if we nominate like a orange-faced sexual assaulter, won't that just make liberals more mad?
Well, this is the Sam Harris argument too,
yes,
right?
It's
like,
the same Harris.
If you go around,
yes.
And of course the article was about, amongst those people was like some like 55-year-old small business owner from Georgia who's like a prime target to be a Democratic voter, right?
Right.
But it reminded me that when Republicans are in power, cultural grievance moves to the fore. So we're going to see, like, the war on Christmas, I think, my prediction, going to be big this year. Or something like it. Because they're not going to want to talk about politics. They're going to want to talk about culture. And so what do you do if you are a newly minted, well, I guess it's come back around, Tucker Carlson on Fox? He's got to bring somebody on who's not going to argue with him about politics. So, of course, it has to be about some cultural grievance, which is that you're foisting this climate science on us.
No, you're shoving it down
You're shoving it down my throat. Making me swallow it whole.
Wow.
Here is
That's a lot
Tucker
right there.
Carlson
Okay.
basically saying that to Bill Nye.
Do it in Europe. And so the climate change and the parasites.
You're using the language of politics. Look, you're not a scientist, as you know. You're a popularizer, and I just think, and that's fine.
Of economics.
But
so
I'm just saying,
you
look,
asked what it would
to the
be
extent
like
that you
with
prevent
You're a populizer, he's saying. In other words, what you're doing is you're just making people aware of the science. And you also happen to have a science background.
And he's worked with NASA and stuff.
And you also happen to have been a science. But right now, you're just making people aware of the science, which is fine, but don't talk about it.
Okay,
if you prevent people from having an honest conversation, you're doing a grave disservice to science. Don't you think that?
So you asked how long it would be before, what the climate would be like if humans weren't involved right now. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes, that's exactly right.
So
at what point would it have changed? And I'm just saying, you don't actually know because it's unknowable.
This
why
is how
aren't you
long it
open
takes
to
you
questions?
to interrupt me, okay? It takes you quite a bit less than 6 seconds. So the climate would be like it was in 1750. And the economics would be that you could not grow wine-worthy grapes in Britain as you can today because the climate is changing. The use of pesticides in the Midwest would not be increasing because the parasites are showing up sooner or the pests are showing up sooner and hanging around longer.
I think that's probably all true, but you
would not be overwhelmed by pine bark beetles as it is because of climate change. That's how
so
the
much
world
of
would
this
be
you
different
don't
if it
know.
weren't for humans.
You pretend that you know, but you don't know, and you
gotta
bully
disagree
people
with you,
who
sir.
ask you
I really
questions.
have to disagree with you. I spent a lot of time with this topic.
I'm open-minded. You are not.
That's awesome.
There it is.
That is the best summation right
You're
there.
so intolerant of my intolerance. It is it's the constant cultural aggrievement now that we're going to hear about.
I remember probably, I don't know, like 2.5 or 3 years ago, I played a clip of Bill Nye when they were trying to do Crossfire again, something like that. And I forget.
That clip does so well.
Oh, that clip is still doing well?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, and I forget the woman that he was on with, but some mediocre conservative pundit. And it was so interesting because her whole response to him was basically like, you're just being rude to people. It's like literally you are being condescending and disrespectful
at that
by
time,
expressing science.
I was on Hayes' show with Christine Todd Whitman, and she
Yes,
said the same
right.
thing.
There you go.
She said, maybe if liberals weren't so pushy about climate change, conservatives could accept it.
Right.
What?
So I'd just like to come out and say I think that we should maybe do something about climate change. I hate Muslims.
Sort of.
Hate Muslims. Totally hate them. Think maybe we shouldn't totally murder all of them. But terrible religion. Worst thing in the world. Anything else I can do for you people?
Hey, it's Sam Seder. Why don't you subscribe to this channel? You can do so right over here. Subscribe.